Music.
That goes here.
Do.
You don't literally have to do that each time.
I will do it each time.
Heineken, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
You're so right.
Wow. Flippers and all. Wow.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa. What you know about my boomstick?
You see my distant fellow?
Yeah.
I hate to kill him.
Can I have another bowl, please?
I think you know the way.
But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Alright, welcome to the very first episode of Geekisodes, guys. To kind of frame this, or blueprint this entire thing for you, what this is basically... what?
Four guys.
Four guys. Four guys.
Dudes.
For what?
Four dudes.
Four dudes. Four dudes chilling out in a room. Doing topical subjects of everything that is geek. Okay?
Yep.
It's a talk show. We give our input. We give recommendations. And we have, most of all, a good time.
Yes.
Okay? We are going to go around the room and introduce ourselves. I'll start out. My name is Jacob.
I am Lawson.
I am Bobby.
I'm last. Jesse.
But
Last Jesse?
No, I'm Jesse.
Ultimate dad joke.
And we're gonna be bringing back the word geek. We're making it our own.
In vogue.
Yeah.
trademark.
Yeah, nobody else.
It's not actually trademarked.
Besides
Don't
us.
sue us.
We're bringing it back. The word geek. Yeah.
Yeah, like Wizard.
Yeah. We're gonna bring back wizard
Bring
too.
back Wizard.
Wizard disappeared.
Okay, back on topic.
Yes.
When Anakin didn't like saying
We just hopped in our Millennium Falcon.
All right, so now that you've had a very tasteful introduction of all of us,
Oh, yes.
we are going to start out by going around the table, and we are going to recommend our or favorite show, game, film, or book.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start out.
Yes.
Okay. So usually I would do a movie, okay, because I am the film buff, right? Like, that's my thing, but what I'm going to actually recommend a book series that I haven't touched in a while.
Oh.
Pendragon.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It is literally one of the best sci-fi stories I've ever read. Like,
Alright.
ever. My time. I look back at it, I'm like, that was way too awesome for my own good.
Is that about, like author?
Yeah, that's kind of my initial thoughts.
Did an author read it? Write
So
it?
No, author Pendragon.
No.
King Arthur?
Okay.
No. Like, Pendragon's actually the last name of the main character.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
author Pendragon.
I mean,
So
yeah.
who wrote the book, though?
DJ McHale.
All right.
He was actually a TV writer for... he wrote a few episodes of Get Ready for 90s Nostalgia of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, man.
Yeah, he wrote and directed a few episodes.
Oh, man.
I know. As cheesy and Canadian as that show is...
That's the best kind.
Oh, duh, as cheesy and Canadian as that show is, yeah, he directed, but he directed the good episodes, in my opinion.
Okay.
The later ones.
All right. So,
So-
anything else for you, or is that your just direct?
That's my plug.
All
Go
right.
for it.
I'm gonna do quantity over quality and just say that favorite show is Trigun, which is an anime. My favorite game is Final Fantasy VI. My favorite film, I'm gonna give two answers real quick. I think the Lord of the Rings trilogy is just a masterpiece of filmmaking. But if I have to give a singular film, it would be The Princess Bride. Favorite book is too hard because I love reading so darned much, but anything by Brandon Sanderson, Tolkien, or C.S. Lewis is a must-read for me.
I'm gonna go with my favorite movie is Die Hard / The Room.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The Room
So we
is
get both sides of the
amazing.
spectrum.
We will
Hallelujah.
have. You stole my answer, by the way.
The Room?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go with the Ray too.
Hey. Shh. It's not your turn.
My favorite game is Shadows of the Colossus.
Ooh.
Fantastic game.
Seconded.
It's a very good story. And then favorite show is the first 4 seasons of Dexter. Anything after those 4 seasons, don't have to watch. You're good. I mean, it does leave it in a cliffhanger, but you're perfectly fine. Because it just goes downhill from there. Then
Spoilers.
Then my favorite book, which I'm going to go with the comic book because I don't read full books a lot, would actually be the comic book "Why the Last Man," which is a fantastic comic book about a guy named Yuri who wakes up after being hung upside down to find out that every man in the world is dead and he's the last man alive. It's fantastic. Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
It's done by Brian K. Vaughan, who also wrote a bunch of episodes of Lost and other... But it's fantastic.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, you should read it. It's great. Like, they have these women called the Amazonians, and they're just some crazy women who cut off their left boob. I am not joking.
Oh, that's what I need in my life.
Yeah, it's great.
And survive? That's a thing?
Yeah. You can survive that. I mean, women who get breast cancer get their boobs cut off all the time.
It's just a mammary gland.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Dude, that's
how they work?
Apparently, that's the way. Like,
so
if you really want to be legitimately with Wonder Woman, she would not have like a left boob.
We're off to a really tasteful start.
We are.
They're
learning history right now.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, the female anatomy, everybody.
Oh, no, go.
I wasn't going to get any further than that, Lawson. Chill.
Jesse.
You know, I really don't know how I'm going to top the one boob woman story. Mine's pretty weak.
What about the 3 boob chick
But,
from
you know,
Total Recall?
No more boobs.
Again,
It just cuts off the middle one.
Chill.
And she looks normal.
Hey, this is not the man show, okay?
No, it's not.
You got a problem with the man show? That's a great show. It was funny.
Yes. It's been a long time since I've seen that. Good grief. So my favorite show, I guess, would be, well, you kind of stole my answer, was Dexter. My dog's named after Dexter, actually.
That explains so much.
Yes, it does.
I actually got him into Dexter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's pretty, yeah, so my favorite...
You can have the same favorites.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, well, I feel like I'm a plebe when I say that my favorite show is your favorite show.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I really don't have to... I'm thinking about it, and like I don't want to say Game of Thrones. Well, it kind of is my favorite show right now because I'll be that person. I guess I'll be that person.
Do it.
That's fine.
So my favorite video game of all time is Chrono Trigger.
Good choice.
Which Square Enix or whoever owns it now is just absolutely screwing it up.
That port was a bad job on
Yes,
Steam.
it was. Oh my gosh, I'm so upset.
Welcome to my pain. That happened in Final Fantasy VI, my favorite game, about a year or two ago. So now you're where I was at about a year ago.
Yes, but Chrono Trigger is such a great game, especially for its time. I've probably beaten it, I don't know, 5 or 6 times.
What's it about?
So it's about these time traveling people. I'm starting it out horribly. It's about this guy.
Yeah,
He wakes up in his village,
Okay.
meets this girl, and he has a friend who's an inventor that invented a teleporter. So when this other girl he meets gets into the teleporter, her pendant reacts with the teleporter and it turns into a time machine. He goes back in time to save her, and he interrupts time and starts going on these crazy...
One thing leads to another.
Butterfly effect, kind of.
Well, actually, interestingly enough, they don't delve too deeply into the butterfly effect. There's a brief mention of it at the beginning, but what's interesting is basically just trying to get back to their own time ends up leading from the past to the future, and then you find out that the future is a post-apocalyptic waste, and you got to figure out how to prevent that from happening.
Right, the little Biff future syndrome.
Artwork is also done by Akira Toriyama.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
It's
Dragon Ball,
the guy
Dragon
done
Ball Z.
Z.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's really interesting because it is it's a case of right place, right time, because that team, that's why there's never a sequel, is all those people moved on to other projects, but it was a dream team.
Good. So you got the dream team who designed that one perfect game, and that's great.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
and
good.
it is my favorite game, and it holds up to this day. It's
Awesome.
great.
How old is it?
Oh no! Don't ask me that.
No,
question.
it's about as old as I am.
25
94.
years?
Really?
Was it 94 when it came out?
It's about the same time as 6, and that's as old as I am.
We have like computers in our hands.
Well, later.
We could look it up. But
You know what?
I think
Why
that's
do
just-
that when we could have them do it for us?
Right?
I mean,
So, film and book, or are you just
So film is going to be the Raid series.
Yeah.
the Raid 1 and the Raid 2.
Thank you. Those are
fantastic.
oh
So I'll say this: if
gorgeous.
you ever seen Raid 1 and you're like, "Oh, it was a good movie,"
it was poetry.
and then when you see Raid 2, it's
Oh,
like the
you're
Raid 1 is so much better.
well, Raid 1 is better, but
No. I don't mean that it's better than the second one.
Yeah.
The second one makes Raid 1 a better movie.
Yeah.
Because of the way it transitions
Well,
into
the
everything.
second one, I think what the second one did is they took a little bit more time with their writing and their plot. So that's why it felt a little bit awkward.
Well, actually, I'm gonna help out. The Raid 2 was actually written before the Raid 1.
It was.
All the choreography, everything was written before that. And in order to get the Raid 2 made,
Greenlit.
to get it greenlit, they had to make the Raid 1
That
first.
makes so much more sense.
Actually, it does.
Yes.
Like, so much more. Because, like, it does feel like the Raid, or the first Raid is going like, oh, yeah, you know who Rama is. Or, you know him. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I love Rama, you know.
Yeah, Rama's
but,
great.
But, yeah.
he's one of the standout heroes in an action movie.
Yeah.
Because
and
he
he's
just
got,
goes through so much.
Yeah, he's got the simplest pull, too. It's like, okay, you got a pregnant wife. Cool. You care about him.
Well, I mean, it's got just the amount of setup that I think a kind of a kung fu action movie needs.
So true. It's not too
more
much.
though, yeah.
Exactly. Just a small scene of him kissing his wife goodbye and moving on.
It's effective.
It's very effective. And, of course, the relationship with his brother just... just heighten heighten the tension, definitely.
All right, awesome.
But okay, cool. We can move on. And the next topic, have I?
No.
Do I need to clarify I'm the host or?
No, you're
Jacob's
fine.
the host.
Hey, he's the host.
I was wondering if that was important or not.
He's such a great host. He forgot my book recommendation.
Were you about to? I thought you were done.
Totally skipped
I
me,
thought you were done, Jesse.
He's sending you messages that you're going over time.
I'm going to spoil alert. It's 50 Shades of Grey. He loves 50 Shades of Grey.
It is 50 Shades darker, actually, but you know.
he was going to go free,
like the
but it
Empire
was a lot
my
smut in that one.
My favorite book is The Hobbit, based after the movies by Peter Jackson. They actually used 3 movies that they put into one book.
Triggered.
I hate you so much right now.
Triggered. Okay. Moving on. We are moving on, ladies and gentlemen.
What do you do this to me? What did I do to you?
Well, you upset because you reads the book where they added the female elf, or
the love story was the best.
We're
part.
done. We're moving on. I'm not the host, but we're moving on.
I didn't mind her.
Is that what the nuke button's supposed to be?
Yeah.
No, we'll
right,
get to the nuke button next episode.
The lovely nuke button. Mm-hmm. All right. So our next subject. Mm-hmm. We are talking about what shaped the way we view geeky material. Okay, our influences.
Yeah. So like some of our just talk about the stuff that kind of made us into who we are and what we enjoy. Okay.
Right. Okay. Just those intricate parts of our life that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Perfect. I guess I'll start off by saying it was very simple. It was just I mean, obviously as a kid I loved watching, but as young as I can remember, it was just superheroes, you know what I mean? Straight up, just me getting into superheroes as a kid kind of evolved into me getting everything that was geek. I mean, it's that simple. Like I loved.
So was this like actual comics, or was this like animated TV shows, or
yeah, it was what. Actually, mostly animated TV shows is what I would say. Like, I would get the on a VHS from this is a dated statement, but from Blockbuster. When I was a kid, we used to go to the Blockbuster, you know.
Or the VHS you get from Pizza Hut with the first episodes of X-Men.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
that was a thing.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
you just brought that memory back into my head.
That was a thing.
Oh,
they did that.
They give you like if your parents ordered a pizza, you'd get like a free VHS with like the first 2 or 3 episodes of X-Men, the animated series.
Dope.
Yes, I remember that.
I remember it because the booklet was so cool.
Yes, it was pretty.
Oh, that's so dope.
That's
okay.
A good start.
Anyways, but yeah,
No, I would. I remember, of course, the DC, which still holds up. It's uncanny how much.
Which one?
But the Justice League is what I
Yeah.
watch the most. That still holds up, and it's uncanny how good the writing was in that show.
I agree, actually.
You know what I mean? Like
it's talking about the original, like
the old, like the
DC. Yes.
The early 2000s. I remember the theme
It
track.
came
I do.
on
It was
late at
gold.
night. I remember it coming on
Did it?
late.
Justice League, I remember
Guess it
coming on
depends.
like Saturday at like 6.
I
or
watched it on
something.
DVDs, so I don't know when it
Yeah.
came on.
I think. Oh, you know what? I watched. I also remember renting. Or I distinctly remember renting all the time. It was the same, universe, anime universe, the Bruce Timm animation, the Superman movie, the one where he fights the robot. Or it was probably the first episode of the show.
Brainiac.
Yeah, and where it
Yeah.
shows how Brainiac destroyed, or was the plotline that Brainiac actually destroyed. He basically went all, Space Odyssey on Krypton, and which was cool. And then, I actually never made it as far as, was it Unlimited, where they introduced the humanoid Brainiac, or? Because I didn't get that far.
In the series, in the Superman series, it was like the first time you see Brainiac, he's a human, and then like when he attacks Clark Kent as a child, as a teenage boy, he's a robot. And in the comic books, he's more like they didn't make him full robot. They made him like when he first shows up, if I remember correctly, he's like a robot, and you don't actually meet the actual Brainiac until later.
Right.
And then like after that, Brainiac just turned into a full-blown robot for the rest of the time.
Gotcha.
Because that's more of a danger. Brainiac's like the Ultron for DC.
Gotcha.
But actually, it's probably vice versa. So.
Sure, yeah. Okay, but yeah, just basically early childhood watching all the superhero cartoons I could, and it evolved from that to the superhero movies. I'll never forget, like, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie became my immediate favorite movie.
It's a good film.
When I was... yeah. I gotta think about that, but I won't go into it. Lawson, you want to take the reins now?
Yeah, sure. Oh gosh. So I've got a long, complex answer. I'll try and condense.
Sure.
I think the earliest, if we're gonna go for earliest, maybe not most impactful, probably pretty impactful. My father would read the Chronicles of Narnia to me before I could even read. When I was at the age of 2 or 3, he would read those to me at night. I very distinctly remember that growing up. And that had a really big impact on my love of stories, and probably the reason I love C.S. Lewis so much. But that was a huge impact on me. Around 3rd or 4th grade, I was at the point I could, kind of comprehend the language in The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and so I got into those, and those were huge impacts on both how I enjoy media and actually how I live my life, if I'm being perfectly honest. It was a pretty big deal to me. The scene between Gandalf and Frodo when discussing Gollum, as corny as it sounds, actually had a big impact on how I view the idea of mercy and not jumping to necessarily what seems like the righteous judgment, because I have a tendency to do that. So that was a pretty big... there's some maybe less... what's the word? A bit more schlocky answers. I read a lot of...
I like that word.
Yeah. I read a lot of Animorphs as a kid. And
yeah,
those were fantastic. And
Word up.
the Warriors Cat series, which...
Oh, I know.
Did you watch the show?
There was a
Animorphs
show.
show?
There was. I watched part of it. It was
It had Iceman,
Yes.
Sean Ashton
Sean
in it.
Ashton.
No kidding.
Yeah.
it was
Sean Ashmore.
pretty awful.
Sean Ashmore.
Is it Ashmore?
Is it Ashmore?
Yeah,
Pretty sure
probably
it's
is.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Sean Ashmore.
What was the universe? I'm sorry, I'm curious. The universe
What?
of the Warriors books. What was it? I
So
don't get it.
So there's a group of like 5 writers who all ghostwrite as the same person. So each book is completely inconsistent in tone, writing, and they completely forget. It's so bad, but it's so good.
Yeah,
And it's
okay.
like there's these cats, and it's like these cats. They live in the woods, and they have like clans and like this ongoing like war for territory. And then there's like a supernatural element where like the ancestors of the cats are like looking down and trying to guide them. And like this one bad cat gets reincarnated 15 times because they can't come up with a new villain. It's terrible. It's so bad.
Yeah,
like, it is,
but that's the amusement of it.
But it's so good. I
Yeah,
loved it as a kid, and I went back and reread it recently, and I was like, this is terrible, but I love it.
Yes.
So there's that, and then I guess a bit quicker. Like I said, Final Fantasy VI, favorite game.
Okay.
Played it when I was 14. It was the game that taught me that games could have actual stories, like that were not garbage. You know what? I may have been like you, Jesse, where if I had played Chrono Trigger first, that would have been my favorite, but I played 6 first. So that is the one that sticks in my head, is the game that could actually convey a decent story.
Yeah, I hear that story a lot. Mm-hmm. It's like, I played that one first, and that's my favorite.
Mine would be Spider-Man 1 on the PlayStation.
Story?
Star Stories,
what?
Yeah. Because it took me a while.
The one with Doc Ock?
Yeah, where Spider-Man 1 on original PlayStation, where you...
Like the one that was also on 64.
Yeah, where you just, like, kind of went around fighting bad guys, and you'd fight, like, Doc Ock,
Yeah.
There was a story?
There was. Yeah, the opening.
Is that the one they had on N64?
That's what I just said.
They had a demo on the PlayStation Underground disc.
Yes.
That people would play, like...
Okay, so there's two Spider-Man ones that I think of when you say that. There is like the Spider-Man like more cartoony version, and there's like the movie based like the
no.
version.
That was on the GameCube.
That one's next generation. We're talking about PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That means that
it's
Doc
Ock Carnage.
Spider-Man has not came out yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's the one that ends with Doc Ock being possessed by Carnage.
Really?
Yeah.
I never beat the game.
Yeah.
I know that.
I don't think I beat it.
Yeah.
I played it as a naive kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
But I think, and then there's many more influences that but that's kind of my shaping. And then, of course, as a kid, I watched Saturday morning cartoons, which got me into anime, and my parents have never been the same since. They've been very sad about that, but, that's just life.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty. My influences is a mixture of most people besides I'm less books than you.
Yeah,
unless you count Garfield. Batman the animated series,
Yes.
Spider-Man. Even though now that I'm older and somebody pointed it out, I didn't know that Spider-Man only threw like 7 punches in the entire show.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I never realized that either.
Yeah.
What about the drama with Felicia? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Felicia Harding.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I remember that as a kid.
And was it?
She was very sexualized.
Yeah.
Back on the boobs.
She did not have one.
or 3.
But again, that's
a big number.
That's if you want to be an Amazon. Then of course there's X-Men, which is pretty much the show. The cartoon was written like the comic book, which helped me get into comics a lot.
Sure, yeah.
Then there's the crazy stuff like Power Rangers, which I still love today. I don't watch the new version of Power Rangers, but I still love Power Rangers. I have a picture with Jason David Frank.
Well, I know you got a blanket out
of it. I got a blanket out of it.
You got a out of the picture?
Yeah, they made me a blanket for my birthday.
So yeah, we went to Walmart and we printed off. So I cut me out of the picture.
I wish you would have stayed in.
I probably should have, but there was enough room to make the blanket.
Sure.
So it's got him and Jason David Frank on this blanket, and it's perfect.
It's amazing. And then of course there's Power Rangers, and then I'm gonna throw out some crazy ones.
Do it.
Hercules.
Like the Disney movie, or like
Hercules, Kevin Sorbo,
Yes.
Xena,
yes.
Sam Raimi.
Sing it to the mountains.
It was like
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It actually. Do you consider it so bad as good like I do? Like,
now it's so bad it's good now. But back when I was a kid, I ate it up.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't even think it took itself seriously. That's
No. There's like every once in a while there's one episode where he just literally like he's like a demigod and just like picked him up like he was like whipping something and then hit him on the ground and kept on doing it. I was flipping out when I was watching it. I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing. And then of course Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
I loved Dragon Ball Z, Ronin Warriors, video games, Mario, Donkey Kong Country 2, which I really wanted to Switch, but let's make it complicated, Nintendo. And then the movies.
Yeah.
That came out. I was a huge Disney person when I was a kid. Not a lot of Nickelodeon.
You got choked up on that one there.
Like whenever I talk to other people about like their childhood, they always go to Nickelodeon, and I was always a Cartoon Network guy, or Fox.
That's interesting.
Fox Kids.
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
Bobby's World.
Got
I didn't watch Bobby's World that much. I had a reason. Yeah. But you can go ahead.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
My go.
Jesse, tell them.
So 3 things: Batman animated series, G.I. Joe, and Transformers. Now, I'll clarify something. I'm not an 80s kid. I'm 1990s when I was born, but I still kind of inherited some of the Hanna-Barbera 80s shows, cartoons and stuff.
Super Friends?
Yes. Super Friends. We're watching like Dastardly Dog. What's the one where they raced? I can't remember that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, I can't think
Dastardly.
of it. They had the Dastardly
Mudley.
He's the
Dog.
Snidely Whiplash villain, right?
Yes.
And he had
Wacky
the
Racers.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he had the little dog called Dudley or whatever.
Mudley and...
Monday. Yeah.
yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, it was.
Oh,
Well,
it's
no,
great.
the only reason I know is because Cartoon Network would do like a retro kind of rewind thing where
Before Boomerang.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I was Boomerang is what I watched.
I think they were playing old stuff. I can't remember this.
So you're telling me reruns were invented before Boomerang?
They were.
No, I did Boomerang, and that's how I know about that show. Or I watched Boomerang.
But I really grew up with those shows, and then it kind of transformed to the next thing, which was like Power Rangers. And I got on that kick. I was allowed to watch those things.
I wasn't allowed to watch
Some,
Power
I know
Rangers.
some weird kids
Yeah.
weren't allowed to watch.
Yeah, I was too
Power
busy
Rangers.
taking my asthma inhaler treatments to watch Power Rangers.
Wow.
Yikes.
But
You weren't allowed to watch Power Rangers?
No, they were demonic, along with Pokemon
Of course
and Harry
demonic.
Potter.
They-
I don't know, and I don't think my parents did either,
I
but they
don't-
sure were.
Yeah,
I got-
I think there was a.
I have to add something real quick
To clarify,
before you
but-
continue.
Alright.
My I couldn't watch Pokemon or use Crest toothpaste because my mom was told by her friends
I know what you're talking about!
that the makers of Pokemon and Crest toothpaste worship Satan, and that's how they got their fame.
Guys, why?
So I
So
will,
I grew up as a Digimon
I
kid.
will clarify. I know I interrupted you, but I feel like I need to defend my family's honor real quick.
Sure, go for it.
That was one thing I think they were over. First off, I think my parents did a really great job. I know I'm a mess, but it's not their fault. I think they did a pretty great job. I think they've even gone back and said, yeah, we were over tight. The reason that they were so sensitive is they had a lot of family members that they trust and who have very good advice, but who maybe don't know how email works even, inform them that these things were demonic, and they didn't necessarily research it themselves because they trusted these people.
this was before the internet.
Was, and that's the thing. It's like
It
the
was
early
over.
2000s Baptist movement of not even Baptist, but just Christian movement of
I would say maybe
I just remember
evangelical or charismatic.
Evangelical, exactly. Those movements really because my parents were the same way. I couldn't watch Harry Potter or Pokemon, because witchcraft is magic, and it's like and which is inaccurate, but it's like. What was it? Yeah, there was this whole movement of all the Christian moms were shielding their children from things that
it was like Dare, but like not Dare. It was
cartoons
that we had to watch.
So I just wanted to clarify.
I don't know what a good
that,
acronym is.
When I got a bit older and the internet kind of existed in the state it is now, we did some research and they went, oh yeah, we were dumb, but and they did a great job.
And not only that, but I think being a writer helps too, because you go, oh, am I using this as a ploy to convert children to Satanism? No, I'm not. And of course, J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis read about wizards.
I do that when I go to Walmart. I'm like,
Well,
kid, do you want to worship Satan? Come on.
But I was just gonna say because like they let me read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and all that stuff because they couldn't. Especially for the internet, you can't research everything. It's very difficult to read everything.
Yes.
So they took some things on faith that I think maybe they shouldn't have.
Right.
They even said, that was a mistake after the fact. But it turned out okay. I'm glad that they cared enough to look out for me. Sure. Let me put it that way.
And before I let you finish...
We're going to interrupt.
This is why I said I was last.
Let me just say something real quick, okay? Jesus.
Yes.
It's Dick Dastardly and Mudley.
Yes.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
I do appreciate that.
Okay, sorry. Go huge rant.
No,
back to you,
but
Jesse.
it was really interesting because that's not the first time I've heard that I wasn't allowed to watch Pokemon.
Yeah.
I hear that like more than sometimes people who've actually watched the show. Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's bizarre to me. But anyways, my parents let me watch that stuff.
That explains a lot too.
Yeah, they really shaped me like to where I was going. I remember watching Dragon Ball as a kid, like
the
original one before Z, and I just remember watching. I didn't watch it like religiously. I just watched some episodes. I remember I found a Ronin Warriors toy before they dubbed it in at a yard sale. Somebody had it. It was Japanese. It was out in Japan in like the 80s. So like I had all these little weird influences in my life before I actually got interested in the shows. And when Toonami came, that is really what has shaped me as a geek.
Yeah,
whatever you want to call me. We'll say geek because it's a Geekisode.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
branding TM.
Branding. So thank you, Toonami, for making me the geek I am today. Look at the Dragon Ball Z, freaking Ronin Warriors, Gundam Wing, just you name it from that era. If it was on Toonami, I watched it and I loved it.
And if you'd like to sponsor us, we're taking that.
Yes, yes, please.
That would be fantastic.
And Toonami, let me say something about Toonami. They're doing a great job coming back. I don't know if you've gotten to watch any of their the things that they've redone.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I cut the cable by never having it.
My biggest problem with Toonami is they're like, we come back and then we leave again, then we come back and then we leave again.
I think
getting that nostalgia.
I think they're more or less here to stay now.
Oh, probably.
You know, you've had too much when the chair's drinking more.
Oh, trust me, I've been there, bro. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I actually did used to watch Toonami. I know I've kind of gone on record and said that I haven't gotten into anime in my life, or as much anime in my life as the next geek, but...
Well, see, that was the bridge for me, because I was watching American cartoons until they started dubbing things, and I started watching these things I was interested in.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Was my gateway drug anime, so...
I understand.
I guess I would have to say, maybe G Gundam, then?
Oh my gosh! Yes!
I love... Yeah, as a No, I love this part. But, by the way, do you know my father?
No, my brother! Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? He's like, no. He's like, oh, okay, never mind. And then, like, just...
Yeah, he's like being disintegrated, whips out a picture.
And you know what's great is I'm a big geek about the Gundams. I mean,
you're the Gundam guy.
We're kind of surrounded by the model kits right now in my room. So
we totally are.
Closer.
Oh, they know.
Yes. So trigger word. You said G Gundam. So for whatever reason in Japan, G Gundam is not very well liked. It's like kind of like the redheaded stepchild.
That's why America is
G
best.
Gundam is a far departure from the rest of the crap from
That's
Gundam.
what makes it so great.
Yeah, it's like it's all G Gundam is all fighting robot tournament.
Okay,
that's it.
Yeah,
but everything else is about war and
political drama,
and political bullcrap that kind of gets boring after a while.
So it's the one downfall to the series of amazing fights and
plus Neo Mexico is a giant sombrero.
Yes, Neo Mexico is a giant sombrero.
You gotta love it,
and it's great.
You've got to. I remember distinctly seeing that. I'm like, oh my gosh! Japan.
There's like, look, hey, Google it right now if you're listening to this.
Oh,
Google Neo Mexico G
Google
Gundam.
image. Google.
And there is cactuses sticking out of the hat. It's brilliant.
It's a very racist.
Plus
unintentional racism.
Plus, at the end of the anime, the true winner is love.
That is true. Hey, I liked that ending unironically.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up and take a very quick commercial break.
Yeah, now a word from our sponsors, right?
And now a word from our sponsors.
Are you tired of not losing weight? Getting nowhere with simple diets? Can you not get over the fact that Shania Twain is Canadian? Then you may want to try out Weight Hackers. Here's a word from a satisfied customer.
Yo, I lost 30 pounds instantly after the surgery with Weight Hackers.
But how, you ask? A new proven method that will shed that weight instantly. Our patented technique came after hours of studying, 127 in fact, of slasher movies from the 1980s.
Yeah, when I walked into the office, the guy asked me, got into my head, like, if I could lose a limb, which one would I lose? And I'm like, I mean, I don't really use my left arm that much, so why not? And, yeah, I mean, I still got the gut, but I don't have my highly unnecessary left arm that's not even my dominant hand, so there's that. I've always dreamed of being that one-armed, drummer from Def Leppard, so yeah, I get to park in all the handicap spaces.
That's great, Brian. Please call 1-800-CUT-THAT-FAT-OFF now. Again, 1-800-CUT-THAT-FAT-OFF now. It only costs an arm and a leg.
And we're back.
Yes.
So what's next on our roster?
They won't let me go. Someone help. You're not leaving.
Please don't do that.
I will continue to whisper and
I
make you
have
uncomfortable.
priors. I can't afford it.
Silence, children.
I'm pretty sure I was there when you got arrested.
No, you weren't.
Arrested? What the?
I got arrested once.
For what?
I was driving under a suspended license, but that was a long time ago.
Do we want to talk about that right now?
No.
No.
Do we want to cut that and start again?
No.
We're not. No, we're keeping
This is staying in.
Okay, let's talk about.
We're keeping this
It's
in.
out in the open for the
He
world
doesn't want to
know.
talk about it, obviously. So let's bring it back.
How did I get here?
All right. Nintendo. Gaming news.
Yeah, I guess I'll kind of take the
Yeah,
lead
go
on
for
this
it.
one
Take the
because I was the one that put this
Yes,
one in
yes.
here. Okay, so I thought, geek culture, we're kind of talking about that kind of stuff, and I felt that, talking about gaming is important, and of course, I at least to my understanding, I understand I'm a bit of a niche gamer. I don't do the PS4s and the Xbones so much, but I thought the biggest piece of news was...
You're a PC master race.
Yes, that is true. Yes, absolutely. All hail the PC Master Race. And Nintendo Switch, in this case. But the Nintendo did their little kind of direct thing, which was talking about upcoming games of the year. And I thought that was really interesting to talk about because I know not everyone here, we're all various levels of gamers here, but we're all in a gaming group, so I felt it was relevant. The biggest piece of news, of course, is the new Smash that was announced.
It's new.
Well, they haven't confirmed that. It could be a remake.
I don't think it's a remake.
I think it
because
is.
When they do a close up of Link, I noticed it's his
Breath of the Wild. But how hard is it just to add new costumes?
I don't think they would. I mean, they could, but I don't think they are.
They did that to the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was just a remaster.
I know that, but they didn't like.
I think here's my problem. It's because it's closer than I think. I'm sure someone will fact check me and I'm wrong, but it feels closer than any Smash has been to the one before it.
I feel like this one's new because I feel like if they were going to do a remaster, they would have said, "Oh, it's Super Smash Brother Melee Brawl, whatever the last one was." 4. It's. I think this one literally will be a new Smash.
I hope it is actually because I wasn't the biggest Smash 4 fan. But here's what my problem is: it's so close to the last one, especially since they supported it longer than normal because it's the first one they did DLC for. That I feel like it's going to end up, even if it's not technically a remaster, it's going to run on the same engine and feel so similar that it's just going to feel like 4 again because it got praised very much for the combat and the combat was good. I think it's the best it's ever been. I hate how many extras were removed.
Who created the game? So who's doing
Sakurai?
it? Yeah, it's Sakurai. Apparently he doesn't. He's
wanted out forever.
He's the Nintendo's version of Kojima.
Yes!
He wants out, but they won't let him leave.
Basically.
That was a really sad situation.
Yeah.
By the way.
So, but yeah, that's a whole other. But that's old news.
We're
We're
gonna have an
topical.
episode about
We're topical. But anyway,
Nintendo.
So the thing that's, like I said, I hope this is a new game because I wasn't the biggest Smash 4 fan. But I hope they include some of the stuff that they left out. Smash 4 was the best the fighting's ever been, in my opinion. I don't know many people that disagree with that. Some people like the melee metagame. But as far as normal human beings playing Smash, I feel like it was the tightest it's been. That being said, the fact that they left everything else out, but basically that core fighting loop, like casual mode, classic mode was nothing. There was no adventure mode. The board game thing was kind of weird, but I hope it's a new game, and even if it's not, I hope that they add some of those extras in. What do you think about that, Adam?
I think every game, if you're gonna make something new, you need to add to it, not take away from it.
Well, 4 did take away some stuff.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, I personally, GameCube, when I was playing Melee, I loved doing the target practice.
Yeah,
thing. That stuff was fun. The worst person to do that was Ganon. He was not very mobile. And adding some new characters would be fun. Stop doing so many variations of Mario.
So whatever happened to the they had this survey where you get to pick your own character.
No. That was in the last game. They said, who'd you like to see? Because they were in deals with DLC characters, and that's why we got Cloud of all people in the last one, which was pretty cool. They did that, and people voted for... I think Cloud was actually the second most asked character behind... I can't remember who else.
Was it Goku?
Bayonetta.
I think it was actually Goku.
I think it was Goku.
But that's more difficult. Anyway, but Nintendo has a relationship with Square Enix, so that was easier to broker. Anyway, but I will say this. I like what Nintendo's been doing lately. They really seem to have kind of gotten off the idea that they're just for casuals. They kind of are appealing to both the hardcore and the casual audience. Again, the Switch is great. I am cautiously optimistic about anything they put out there because most of us, well, and the two of us have a Switch, but most of us in our group have a Switch. So I think any version of Smash that ends up coming on the thing, because it's so portable and so accessible, we're all going to get and play.
Yeah.
But I do...
I mean, that's why I have Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, like, I don't even like Mario Kart that much, but everyone has it, so we can all play it together. Anyway, I've kind of monopolized this, but I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm a little nervous because sometimes their track record makes me nervous with the Wii U, but they seem to have really turned around a lot of what they've been doing, and I've felt pretty satisfied with my purchase.
The one thing I liked about this Direct is the third-party games.
That's true.
Because unlike like the Wii and the Wii U, there seems to be a lot of third-party games coming to it, and that's a good thing. I mean, there's certain third-party games I'm not going to get on the Switch. Like, I'm not going to get Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
PC Master Race.
Well, it's going to look way better on the PlayStation 4.
Or the PC.
So Dark Souls 1 is
Dark Souls
also...
1, but I think that's going to be just fine because the Switch...
No, it's 30 FPS. It's the only version that's 30 FPS.
What?
Dark Souls Remaster on Switch is the only version.
I'm not worried about that.
It's an action game.
Oh, okay. I wish... I'm just going to reel it in here. I had something to add to all this, guys. This is... a thing to note, guys, is audience. I like the least. Okay, I like gaming, but I'm not as into the gaming as
He's a scrub.
So
okay, TLC. Thank you.
So here's a great thing about this group of guys we have here. We all kind of have different perspectives on things and different interests.
Such difference.
Some are more into video games and Nintendo. Some are more into PlayStation and
some don't play games, and we make fun of them.
And Gundam Wing and.
I was sneering at Lawson.
Which we're getting ahead of a topic here, which is the things that we like that no one else.
That's next week.
Oh, that is next week.
That's next week. I had to move it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Also, one more thing. They announced Mario Tennis Aces.
Oh my gosh.
That looked good, and I really looked forward to it.
Could not care less.
It looks like it's going to be fun, so that's why I like it.
There's a lot of stuff I hope a lot of people enjoy. The only thing I cared about was, Smash maybe, and then Dark Souls Remaster maybe, because I'm apparently a new Dark Souls convert, so...
It's fair. It's understandable.
I mean... People who played 1 love 3 because that's all it is.
But I loved 3 and hated 1.
If you love 2, you're not getting any of that crap in 3. It's gone.
I did not like Demon Souls. I did not like Dark Souls 1. I absolutely loved Dark Souls 2. Loved Bloodborne and enjoyed 3. Which is a very hot topic for some reason when you start talking about the Souls games.
We just lost any fan base we had.
I know. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. If you're still listening, understand.
Yeah. If you didn't throw your phone across the room, I guess.
Yeah. But that's just me. Everybody has their different preferences and likes.
Well, maybe we can get more on that next week and some other stuff.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Also, Nintendo stuff. Mega Man 11.
That was announced a while ago. Is there anything new on it? It is.
Well, late 2018.
Yeah, right.
I just want to bring it up because I'm so excited.
I'm more excited that the Mega Man X series is being ported to the Switch.
That game's going to come out when Half-Life 3 comes out. And Mega Man Legends 3 comes out.
That's mean. I think this one's more like it. But
no, this one is definitely... There's at least video that are legitimate about Mega Man 11. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Well, from gaming to something completely unlike gaming.
I want to introduce this one.
Do it.
Oh, let me do it.
Well, don't get too excited.
Let me do it. I feel like Rudy. Let me in the game, coach. Okay.
I'm almost out of whiskey.
So, since the 1980s, we have had 88, I think, is when it started. The Razzies have done the most beautiful job in pointing out the horrible movies that come out that year and giving them awards. And this year, it was the Best Actress went to none other than Tyler Perry. Can you please elaborate on that?
so
It's 2018. How dare you assume his gender?
I assume nothing
So I guess they're
about anyone. Tyler Perry Lawson is androgynous. Okay, it's just.
I think the Razzies assumed his gender.
I think the Razzies found talent.
I think
and awarded it.
I think the Razzies decided to be really PC this year. And that's why Tyler Perry won. I don't care. It's fantastic that Tyler Perry won for Medea Boo 2. Tyler Perry won.
That was it?
Yes, that was it.
Yeah,
Because she's
a Medea Halloween.
Because she's been playing. Well, I'm sorry, he's been playing Medea for a long time. Might as well start winning awards for. Tom Cruise won for worst actor and for The Mummy. Which
was that warranted? Look, it wasn't great.
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Can I say something I'm really proud of? I have never sat through a Tyler Perry movie all the way through from beginning to end.
Seen
How?
My family loves him.
I've seen half of
And I think Witness
Lawson?
Yeah. My family loves him, and I think Witness Protection is genuinely okay.
Okay.
So,
Interesting. That's a fun fact.
The closest thing I got was Big Mama's House.
Dude, Big Mama's House 2 is a classic. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Dude.
I mean,
it's not even the same.
I get what you're saying, but
that's the closest I've got.
My brother absolutely loves Medea crap. He's one of those people who watch like House of Pain and Meet the Browns. Or
oh, I
remember
those.
Dude, my grandpa's watched
Oh,
Meet the
so
Browns
bad.
since it's been airing. I almost said the Re-Browns. Whatever when they come on again.
Re-roll down.
Reruns. There we go.
Yes,
I've had
yes,
too much.
yeah,
But the reruns, like, I'm not kidding, every day, and he falls asleep watching it, and if you try he'll sleep through the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
And if you try and move the remote, he wakes up and goes, I was watching that.
That's like my dad when he would take a nap.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, Dad, you awake? You awake, Dad? Then I would pick up the controller and I'd turn it to like something. Yeah. And it's like, what are you doing?
And his instincts kick in.
You were asleep. No, you turned it back. I was watching it. No, you were asleep, Dad.
You gotta love it. Yeah, I remember Meet the Browns or all those shows. They were just.
My grandpa loves
They're
that.
so awful.
Well, they're bland. They're just. There's nothing funny about them. I'm in this alternate reality where there's no punchlines to any jokes.
Well, it's like Tyler Perry.
You will think it's funny too, is all I'm saying.
It's like
I guess so.
It's supposed to happen
Tyler
like that.
Perry was like stuck in the 90s and only knows how to make family-friendly comedies that are not funny. Like, I don't know if you guys have watched it, but I watched all the way up to the last episode of season 1 of Fuller House.
Oh my gosh!
And
Please.
it is awful.
I choose.
Not
Spoiler
funny.
alert. I choose me.
Yeah, he's the reason why I didn't watch the
what?
last episode.
Yes.
Yeah, she goes on with this like DJ she in the show she has to choose either between Aladdin and a veterinarian. I call him Aladdin because he played the voice of Aladdin in Aladdin.
Yes, it is true.
It's true.
So she has to choose between one of them, and he tells me that at the last episode she chooses herself and then leaves them both. And I was
Which is such a stock, stupid answer.
I'm like,
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna watch this. Like, I haven't watched.
I remember, I'll never forget the deflated expressions of my sister and her husband, and asking them what they thought of it, and they're like, "Are you singing Prince Ali?"
Yes.
Well, no. Anyways, no, I remember their deflated expressions, saying like, "Yeah, we weren't that impressed."
My grandma even said, she was like, "This sucks."
Okay, there's
like,
there's one good part about the show.
Fuller House?
About Fuller House.
We're talking about Stephanie.
Go on.
because
Is
Stephanie is the best part of the show,
attractive?
and I'm gonna let Bobby, the single guy,
I think she's
in the room,
John
explain.
Stamos-ing it, isn't she? She's
Stephanie is.
So
she's Uncle Jesse.
She's really hot.
She's really hot.
So
Yeah,
I could
like you're watching it,
believe
you're
you.
like it.
No better
you're
way to
watching
put
you're
it,
like,
yeah.
You're like, she's actually not bad. And then like
Yeah.
you're like watching her, you're like,
You're
yeah.
she's
Nice.
distracting you from what's going on. It's pretty,
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
She's well endowed. Which is
and
very upsetting.
but before she
But then,
can't see, but I'm
then
just
you
silently
start
shaking my head.
then you start thinking about it
Yes,
for a
yeah.
minute, and you start imagining the little girl that was in
Oh gosh,
Full
no!
House,
I don't
and
want any of this. Stop!
Why are you
My
thinking
gosh,
that?
man!
we're gonna cut it off there.
No, it just I'm saying it bothers me because
Yeah.
it's like she was that little girl
You're
Full
older than
House.
she is.
I
You're
know,
younger than
but
she
it
is.
still bothers
I'm
me.
pulling out my brain.
Weird.
Out of my
I'm just being
It's
honest.
like if you would have met your wife when she was a child and you were like, each time I look at my wife now, I think about when she was a child.
How this little girl has blossomed into a lovely woman. Yeah. Okay.
Help
I'm just-
me.
I'm just-
Help me.
I'm kidding, Lawson.
You're not saying you're gonna Woody Allen your
Gosh.
Okay.
No.
Moving on.
This is too
moving
great
on,
to move on. What are you
Moving
doing?
on. The minute you said that guy's name, we are moving on. I am
Respected director,
executive
writer.
order. Executive order. Moving on.
not
You will
Donald Trump.
You will be. No, I'm not for multiple reasons. Moving on.
Oscars.
Oscars. Okay. Oscars.
I have a rant at some point, but it can go before or after you introduce it.
You know what?
Go ahead and do your rant because
Do it
you're
before.
gonna take a
Do
for
it
a long
before.
time.
No.
Introducing Lawson with a rant about the Oscars.
He took notes.
Okay, I did. No, I want to make sure my facts
No, go
right.
for
I'm
it.
pretty sure. Look, I didn't do research because
Yeah, because I've done.
it's this.
Yeah, I've done
But
research. Yeah.
okay, since 2003, there has been one Best Picture winner that was a box office success.
Yes.
The Oscars are out of touch.
Yes.
They are self-indulgent. By the way,
Yes.
the one that did box office was No Country for Old Men, which
Yes,
I've heard is
great
great.
movie.
I haven't actually seen
Great
it, which
movie.
is crazy, but I need to. But anyway, all the rest, I think there are a bunch of morally bankrupt propagandists
Yes.
patting themselves on the back.
Yes.
And like I said, there hasn't been one
Crash.
that's won in 15 years. How many relevant pictures have we had that won Best Picture?
Okay, you would be surprised.
There's 3.
Okay.
And then I think if you look before 2003, they were better. They were more in touch with at least the people.
Mm-hmm.
I hate everything this stands for now because I'm so mad that it is so it is so out of touch with what people who actually watch movies think. That is my rant.
Okay.
That's it.
You know what? To your point, Lawson, I'm gonna say this. I completely agree with you because the more, well, no. Here's the thing: the more you study how the Oscars work, the more you study. Okay, it is literally not even an official federal agency.
Oh, yeah.
It is literally a club.
Yeah.
That Hollywood invented for prudes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want your movie to be recognized, lobby the absolute heck out of it, and it will win all the awards you want it to win. And that's basically how the Oscars work.
And
Now,
that's why Grinding Nemo won this year.
you mean
That's what I'm going to call
The
it.
Shape of- have you
From
seen
now
The
on.
Shape of
I don't
Water?
have to. I don't care.
Yeah,
you
but
can't say anything.
you
You're not
really
gonna
can't,
watch the
though,
movie.
Lawson.
I will not watch
I'm
any
actually
of the
curious.
if you don't want
about
to
it.
watch it, that's fine. But you can't say
Yeah.
that.
No, I know it's a beautiful love
That's
story
like me
between
saying
a woman
that
and her
all
fish.
C.S. Lewis books are stupid. I've never read them all.
No, I just don't care. I actually don't have anything personally against that movie.
Yeah,
I just
I
think
got you.
Grinding
It's a
Nemo's a
good
pretty
movie.
funny pun.
Oh no, I
had
love
to
that
insert
pun.
it
No, I
somewhere.
support it. Yeah, I
No, that's
support
the. I actually
because there's a notable
full
scene.
full statement.
between-
I haven't
yeah.
seen the movie.
Okay.
You taking away my whiskey?
You're cut off.
Which has been there for context. That has been there the entire time. For context,
Okay.
But no, you're right. It's it's a club full of
No,
prudes.
but I do want to clarify. I haven't seen the movie. I don't think
No,
personally.
I
about
got
it.
you,
I
I
hate
got
the
you, I got
Oscars for what they stand, not because whatever the Shape of Water one. I
Yes,
didn't
yes,
see
yes,
it.
yes.
I
here's
watched
my
something where most of the people who actually get to choose the awards are like 65-year-old men.
They really are. They
They're
really
I don't care about
old.
that. If they were still in touch with the people, I wouldn't
if you
care.
really want to win an Oscar, and I'm trying to find this video. Oh, here it is. I'll send it to you guys. He pretty much
Link
goes
in the
over.
description.
He goes over like how to get Leonardo DiCaprio to win an Oscar. And the
Wait,
best
was that who's it that did that? I think I saw
film
that.
theorist?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Well, there was that, and I think there's this girl or woman, sorry,
We'll
who
put link in the
did a
description.
video about the Oscars,
Yes,
and yeah,
yes.
basically what you said, Lawson. I'll send you the link to that too. She makes a very good point about them, But yeah, so that's basically my point about the Oscars is that it's really full of a bunch of prudes, and they're out of touch because it's like there's always that complaint. You haven't heard of half of the things that they.
Like I've never heard of Lady Bird until.
Sure, and that doesn't. Here's the thing, but then again, I'll tell you this. I have a love-hate relationship with the Oscars because here's the thing. I have a love and passion for movies.
Yeah.
And to put on a tuxedo and love and praise film, yes, I'm all game. But yeah, those issues you just named out are very major issues. But I will say this: there's this one movie that Oscar winner that everybody hates. It was the Oscar winner of '96. It was
Piano.
Huh?
The piano.
The pianist, or
Pianist?
The
Sorry,
no,
that's never won. I don't think that ever won. But
the English Patient.
Yes. The English Patient. Okay, I will say this. I remember everybody saying that they hated it. It's that 3-hour movie that won.
That was really boring.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I even saw the Seinfeld episode where Elaine saw it, and she was the only person on earth who hated it. And it's a great episode, but I watched it and I loved it. So, you know what I mean? So.
Well, Crash is also in that.
Oh, Crash is a pitiful movie. That
but
can go
I remember
down.
watched it and I liked it, but I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I hated
Crash. I could probably change my mind on that,
Crash.
but it won Best Picture.
It did. You're right, and it shouldn't have. And that's actually the #1 movie that everybody hated that won Best Picture. Like that's the most
Crash,
hated Best Picture winner. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay. So moving on. Let's go over who won. Okay, the basics.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start off with
I got it up.
Doop. I have it here too. All right, Best Actor was in a leading role, Gary Oldman.
Which is long deserved.
Finally, I know he should have had that.
Is he not an underrated chameleon in Hollywood?
Oh yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh.
I'm nodding. You can't see it.
Yeah.
I don't even know it's him half the time. Like,
I had no idea he was Dracula. I didn't know that. I actually thought it was Anthony Hopkins for the longest
still
time in my life.
my favorite.
I don't know why.
My favorite performance of his is in Leon the Professional.
Yes.
He is so evil
in
that movie.
Oh, yes, right?
And it's like one scene he actually does anything that's actually truly evil, but it's so evil that you buy it from that point on.
Right, it establishes who he is.
I've got a weird one that I really like him from, and it may not be him. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is, but he's a chameleon. I mean, come on, give me a break.
True.
No,
Hey,
the book of Eli.
Right now.
He was in the book of Eli, right?
No, I don't want to say he was.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But like, I just remember his performance in that, and I was like, man, Gary Oldman can act. Yeah. He's just the dude.
And I don't movie. I think even half as much as the rest of y'all. And yeah, he long overdue. I support that one. It's probably the only yes you'll get out of me in this entire list.
Right.
But
Gary Oldman.
I agree.
Gary Oldman.
But wait.
The Oldman.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind that Kobe Bryant now has as many Oscars
Yes.
as Gary Oldman.
Oh, perfect. Love it. Yeah.
I absolutely hate this.
Oh my gosh! Why? All right.
Next,
actress in a leading role. Frances McDormand. Can you? I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
She was in. She was in the Coen Brothers movie.
Yes.
Fargo.
She was in Fargo. Oh my gosh.
And
Okay.
she's pretty much just kind of like
Was that with
teeter-tottered like ever since then. Like she was also in Burn After Reading, which
Right.
Was Fargo the Ben whoever Batman is? Was he in that?
Batman?
Ben
Kingsley?
Ben Affleck?
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
No, he wasn't in that.
I'm thinking of Argo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing. No.
Okay.
George Clooney has been in a
see why
couple
you
of
mess
Coen
that
Brothers movies, and he's been Batman.
Okay, yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
Fargo.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah.
So I can't really say.
I haven't seen any movies ever. I'm just pretending like I have.
He lives in a cave.
Get out.
So
That's a movie.
No,
yeah, moving on. Do we want to do supporting roles or no?
Sure, why not?
Okay, sure.
I won't know anyone.
Roles.
Here's another person that deserved one, just like Gary Oldman, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Sam Rockwell won Best Supporting Actor.
Who's that?
Okay.
Sam Rockwell played Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2.
Who's
that?
He was also in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Played in a movie called Moon. A Dangerous Mind.
Come on.
What are you talking about?
It's
Okay.
okay.
So who is
you
he?
don't know good actors. It's fine.
Who was he in Iron Man 2?
He was Justin Hammer, the opposite of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
He's
Gotcha.
he's the one who helped
dude with the
Whiplash.
No, the
Yes.
dude that paid for the parrot guy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
He's a fantastic actor. Like
He really is.
he
He's
steals
so
the
underrated.
scene in any movie.
Oh, yeah.
He made
His
his
charisma.
first movie was in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Wait, like
Oh, he was in Galaxy
He was
Quest.
one of the.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, but anyways.
Wait, when you say original, I gotta ask you. When you say original, do you mean like with the Jim Henson like puppet
Yes.
suits?
Yeah, the dark-
Who
we're
was he in
talking-
that?
He was the
just-
punk kid. He was a punk
Yeah,
kid.
he was like
Yeah.
when
He was one of the-
when Shredder died and like they go up to
okay.
him and he's like don't worry, we'll get off the streets.
Okay, sorry, segue, but I had
Sure.
that.
Okay, actress in a supporting role.
was Allison Janney in I, Tonya.
What? I don't.
Okay.
What?
Allison Janney
Let's
is
get-
an
let's
actress.
get-
It's
and
okay.
moms.
Let me say something. I don't know who these people are either, but at least I'm listening.
You two get to do what he was doing when we were talking about video
Yes,
games.
exactly.
But the difference is
I'll
you
keep
talk
asking
too
what?
much.
I'm gonna keep
So
asking
we're
what?
doing it.
Who's
Just
that?
Actually, start watching.
So,
movies.
just so you know, listener who doesn't know who these people are, you're not alone.
Allison Janney is on Moms, and she does a bunch of TV movies.
Do we like her?
I'm
on board if
I
you
feel
are.
like, yeah, it's pretty much an indifference. I did hear I, Tonya was fantastic though. I did hear
Yeah.
that. It looked fantastic too. I wanted to check it out.
Then it has my full support.
No,
Put that on my running for office.
It's about Tanya Harding, the
famous
Ice
porn
skater?
star slash ice
Oh
skater.
gosh!
porn star.
She has a porno.
She does.
Back with the boobs. You keep thinking you escape, but they keep coming back.
I never. You're the one mentioning boobs.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
we
just-
brought this up a lot.
Well, he's the one who keeps on bringing it up. So
I mean,
I
we
mean,
went from
it's a part of the
Felicia-
female anatomy. I don't
It
see
is.
the issue.
So who else? One thing.
Yes.
I guess we're gonna go over two more.
So yeah, well, I'll do yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do director and best picture. Best director. I always never know how to pronounce his name, but
I can do it.
please,
Guillermo del Toro,
Guillermo.
and he is one of my favorite directors.
Amazing.
He's amazing.
He's great.
From Hellboy, I mean, from Blade 2, Hellboy.
Blade 2?
Yeah, he directed Blade 2.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense.
Hellboy, Hellboy 2, Mimic. Some people didn't like it, but Pacific Rim was
I liked it.
fun movie.
I liked it.
Okay, put giant
Pan's
robots in
Labyrinth.
anything.
You know,
and
well, it brought out the 12-year-old boy in me. I will
Oh
say
yeah,
that.
That's what I was mean. I was like, oh,
Right.
this is like Power Rangers. This is
Oh my-
amazing.
Yes, yeah.
There's a Kevin Bacon
Queen.
joke in there somewhere.
What?
What?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Keep going. That's okay.
Are you done with your? Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
But yeah, but like we said, it's long deserving. Definitely.
He also did
Definitely.
that movie me and you saw in the theaters about the ghosts and Loki hooking up with his sister.
The red, the red something. The Crimson
Peak.
Crimson Peak. That's what it was.
Oh, I saw commercials for that movie.
Crimson.
So let me say, this is something I can actually talk about.
Sure.
The movie is like about this girl who sees ghosts and like something about her mom dying, and they warn her about the Crimson Peak. So Loki, Tom Hiddleston comes into town. He's like a snake oil salesman or something. I don't remember. But he comes in and just kind of like woos her and takes her to this. Ends up marrying her or whatever. Takes her to his
Crimson Peak.
And she realized the ghost in the beginning of the movie warned her about going to Crimson Peak. It is actually a really good movie.
It's really good.
I heard it was bad.
No. The thing is the way they advertised it was the problem.
Gotcha.
They advertised it as a horror movie.
Of
course. It's not. It's a gothic drama romance.
Yes.
Okay.
It's very like, ooh, that's it. That's juicy.
And honestly, Crimson Peak has, even though they don't come in a lot, best ghost designs.
It was really good.
This
Yeah.
is, the one thing I know, this is still Guillermo del Toro. Yeah, that's not happening. But he's known for his designs a lot.
yeah.
So that makes sense.
He loves the eyes in the hands.
Yes. Well, not only that, but I think he blends well. Okay, yes, he does have his own unique aesthetic, but he incorporates it with the fact that he does care about the story of his movies. He
That's
really
important.
does. It really is.
What are we seeing movies for?
I mean, exactly, because it's like substance can only overpower style so many times.
It's like
Wait.
Tarantino.
Did you have that backwards?
Huh? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, style.
One of us is drunk, and it might be me, but I think it's you.
Yeah, no, that was a slip of the tongue. Yeah,
I get what you mean. Though,
yeah. Style can only overpower substance. So many times.
It's like Tarantino. Tarantino mainly directs his movies that he wrote himself, that he's passionate about.
Right.
Which makes his movies good, versus like people who just make movies that they don't care about. And then you get crappy movies like, I don't know, what's a disappointing movie?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Are you talking about Michael Bay's?
That's the first thing that came to mind, honestly.
Oh, those are terrible.
There's another movie I can't mention right now.
And then best movie. Want to go over that real quick?
Sure. Best picture was, and I'm actually proud of this one.
Serving.
The Shape of Water, aka Grinding Nemo.
Yes.
Grinding Nemo.
Yes.
But here's the thing.
He touched the butt.
Oh. He certainly did, Lawson. He certainly. And I love you for that.
I'll be all here all week.
But here's the thing. Like, this may or may not fix Lawson's issue with the Oscars, because the fact that that one is actually very notable. Because you do typically get this periodic, war drama that wins Best Picture, or, just authentic dramas that win Best Picture, like 9 out of 10 times. Which, can or can't be a bad thing. I mean, again, like I said, I actually enjoyed The English Patient. But at the same time, it's like, you get, very boring movies nobody's ever heard of winning, but Shape of Water, it's a sci-fi love story, and it won. And it's a Guillermo del Toro movie.
It's a very good classic monster movie that was made back in the day, where like it's quintessentially like Frankenstein, but it's a little bit off. Like Frankenstein and this woman fall in love with each other. They chase him off because he's a creature.
Yeah.
Music is fantastic. Everything's fantastic. The music's fantastic. Acting is fantastic. Michael Shannon, who plays the bad guy, he's fantastic.
Right.
My only problem, and this is going to sound weird, I kind of wanted to see the creature's penis.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, well, because she does it in hands where she's like, it goes out like this, and then I was like, I kind of want to see it.
No.
Okay.
I've got a question though.
Yeah.
A semi-serious question about this, because you were talking about the fact that this would potentially alleviate some of my issues with the Oscars. My main issue with the Oscars is this: will anyone be talking about, besides us? But I mean, in the general public, will anyone be talking about this movie in a year? I know I won't be.
I think they will.
I think you're wrong.
Well, no, I.
Will they be talking about Thor Ragnarok in a year, or will they be talking about this?
But that's not the thing. You can't let money power everything.
I don't think it has to do with money. I think Thor Ragnarok is a better movie.
Well, yeah, but you think that specifically in your mind. But us knowing what we know about how the whole system works, it's like, I think they will be talking about it. I really do.
I mean,
I will add the middle ground
because even before it, the film community was hyping it up.
Yeah, I think the film community might be talking. Do you think the general public, the movie watchers?
Well, I'm going to throw this out. The thing is you want to bring up Thor Ragnarok. People will be talking about Thor Ragnarok because it's on the whole, it's a part of this bigger universe.
It's a hype
so it's always going to be.
That's
always going to be brought up until they stop making superhero movies. But when a year, some people will be still talking about Shape of Water. Will it be like a thing like Pulp Fiction? Maybe not.
I'll be surprised if anyone remembers it came out in the general public a year from now.
But why do you think that, though, Lawson? Why do you?
Because I think you guys are interested, and this isn't bad. You guys are in sort of the film buff community.
Yeah.
I think it's a niche audience. I think the general audience hasn't ever heard of it until the Oscars, and are not going to go out and see it because of the Oscars.
So,
but there were a distinct amount of.
We just keep knocking Jesse out.
I'm sorry. No. I just want to clarify. You're right. We are in a niche, but film buffs are a pretty widespread, audience. We're not overly niche. We are niche, but we're not overly niche. We're not 4chan.
I hear you.
I'll say this, coming from the other perspective side, where I'm not like, I want to hate this movie, because I'm like, I saw it and I was like, this seems like something I'd watch. It's not something I was like really excited about, but I was like, okay. And then I'm hearing good things about it from the critical side, and I'm like, okay, well, I might check this movie out. I hadn't personally seen it yet, like these two. You don't have any aspirations or ambitions to see it, Lawson. I would like to see it just so I can have my opinion on it.
My issue is just that, and I don't mean to say that, I don't think you guys, I think if anything, I have bad taste. That being said, our tastes align so seldomly.
Yeah.
That hearing you and the Oscars say it's a great movie doesn't make me want to go see it. Not because you have bad taste, but because I think you guys tend to like movies that I don't necessarily. The Venn diagram of the movies we like is maybe smaller than some other people's.
True.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
I mean, we know you're picky. So.
Yeah, that's very true. But I think it's time for
it is time for a word from our sponsors.
Hello. I know what you're thinking. Christopher Walken's selling walkers. It's crazy, but my grandmother broke her hip, and she needed some walkers. So I went out, and I made some walkers for my grandmother. So Christopher Walken's walkers is the walkers for you, and your grandma, or grandpa. It doesn't matter. I don't care, just buy my walkers. That's all I want. You can find us at ChristopherWalkensWalkers.com or .gov. I bought all the websites for Christopher Walken's Walkers. Christopher Walken's selling walkers. It's crazy. So Christopher Walken's walkers is the walkers for you. It's crazy.
Alright, and we're back. Alright,
We're wrapping up here.
we're wrapping up with our...
Bobby, this is Bobby's section. Let's let him do it.
Allow me.
Oh,
What we're gonna do
Please.
is this is a segment I like to call Fantasy Warfare. Where we're gonna take two people. We're gonna discuss.
Wait, they're people? I thought it was groups.
Well, they're groups,
Okay,
people.
okay.
They're people involved.
Okay, this
So
is
I
true.
mean, it's either or.
All right.
People, I don't.
Okay.
Pie.
A group of people or people to be.
People
to be
pie.
Or pea pie, like
exact
cacti.
for some people's preferences. We're
can make that up.
in media. We're gonna have
Ripping off
fights.
Death Battle, but less
Not-
educated.
Yeah.
Insert
No,
really
no,
cool music
no,
right now.
No. We're not gonna have like all the information. We're gonna discuss who we think is gonna win.
Right.
And then we're gonna ask you people who are gonna listen to our podcast, and if you do,
Hi, Mom.
like his mom.
I'm sorry, I'm joking. My mom's not going to listen.
Oh, she's gonna totally listen to it. Discuss who would win a battle. So today's our first topic, our first battle is the Thundercats versus Gargoyles.
So let me add this. I'm super excited about this because these are two cartoons that I grew up watching.
Yes. Should we clarify which era? Because there have been remakes of at least Thundercats.
We're gonna go the original Thundercats
yes.
and the original Gargoyles.
So let me clarify for the
I
people.
don't think Gargoyles was remade.
was 90s.
It probably wasn't, but I know
Yeah,
Thundercats
it was
I
was.
figured I'd
94.
say
they're just-
original because it would help out Lost and
They're,
Lottery.
they're just
94 to
a
96,
generation
or
apart.
97, yeah.
And by the way, have you ever played Gargoyles on Sega Genesis?
No.
It is the most difficult game I've
It
ever
is.
played in my life.
Love
Anyways, moving forward, I just had to add that. So how are we starting?
So
this?
you want to set up the basics here because
All
I
right,
watched
so-
neither of these cartoons, but I'm going to
All
pretend
right,
like I
so
did.
you have the Thundercats from Thungaria, with
Like you do.
Yes, with Tigra, Snarf.
Everyone's getting on Wikipedia.
I have to, yeah.
I have with Snarf, Panthro, Liono, Willy Kit, Chitara, and Willy Cats.
That's a lot.
Well,
Sounds like the win in sheer numbers.
Willy Cat, and Willy Kit. Those are kids. They're not going to be involved
No,
in this.
You can add them.
And Snarf's not going to be involved in this. Because Snarf would get murdered so fast. And then you have the Gargoyles, which is
Nocturnal creatures known as gargoyles.
Gargoyles are creatures that hang out in buildings. When the sun goes down, they come to life, but when the sun comes up, they turn into statues. So this battle would take place at night.
I was gonna say it sounds like the Thundercats have a serious advantage already. Just like
If
do
they
it
can
during
if
day.
they can hold a battle out for 12 hours,
Yeah.
well, depending on where they are at the time, if they can hold it out for like 8 to 12 hours,
I got
yeah.
a question.
What?
Since moonlight is just sunlight reflected, how do they know not to be stoned at night?
The sun's not out.
Yeah, but moonlight's just sunlight.
We gotta talk
It's
more
a
about the
magical
fighting.
spell. It's not like, don't make this more complicated than it has to be.
It's not a question of the science of it.
I could, if you want me to, I can question the validity of all of the kids in Narnia coming back home at the end of it after they aged like 60 years, leaving their entire families behind.
They're not married.
They never got married. The
No.
whole time, they're in this make-believe land.
They're the only
They don't-
humans. Who are they gonna marry? A fawn?
Then where did Prince Caspian come from?
That's a good question.
All right. I thought the conversation was about gargoyles.
I'm
and
sorry,
Thundercats.
I was getting annoyed with him trying to. Some gargoyles you have Goliath.
Yeah.
Goliath, Brooklyn,
Yes.
Lexington, Broadway, Bronx, Angela, which is the bad lady.
Wait, then why is she on their side?
She's like.
Are we
she's
including
like
the
one of
villains in this matchup?
Well, she's she's like the Loki of the gargoyles.
So you think she'd help them?
Yeah, in a fight, she goes wherever the advantage goes. So if the Thundercats are out to kill her, she's gonna help gargoyles.
Okay.
If gargoyles are trying to kill her, she's gonna go. But she never takes responsibility for the things that are her fault.
Right.
That's the one thing about her.
Women.
Yeah, so it would be. I mean, because we're gonna be sexist a little bit. It's clearly gonna be her versus Yutara.
Okay.
The Thundercats, they're cats from a different planet, so they got speed. They can climb. Lionel has.
Wait, I gotta ask though. Do they have the intelligence of humans, or the intelligence of cats? Because if that's what's happening, it's a definite loss.
So let's clear something up. You've never seen Thundercats, so
I don't know why you're making these assumptions.
yes,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
clearing
being
this up.
quite annoying. They are walking, talking.
I know what they are. I'm messing with
All right.
You have seen, or at least
He has
you've
it.
never seen Thundercats.
Yes. Oh,
Okay,
glorious.
no, I
Join
have
me in
not
ignorance.
seen Thundercats.
Oh, I can't be hearing this.
I guess this battle's gonna go between me and him.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Gargoyles, and I loved that
So he's
show.
voting for
We know
Gargoyles.
who
Oh,
your
yeah.
winner is going to
Oh.
Gargoyles.
Then just to balance them out, I'll go Thundercats.
Okay, but let's go over the powers of each party.
That's what I was trying to
They've
do.
got special swords, don't they?
No, only one of them has a special sword.
So let's explain a little bit about these. So because for people who may not have seen Thundercats,
Sure.
so Lion-O basically, this is really interesting. So there's time travel involved in Thundercats.
Oh, then they win.
So
well, they get trapped.
they got trapped. They're leaving their planet. They come to new, was it Third Earth is what they called. It's basically Earth that's like overgrown with
Future.
mummy villains and weird creatures. So Lion-O is a kid at the very beginning of Thundercats, and he gets put in cryostasis, and his cryo thing doesn't work right. So he still has the mind of a child at the beginning of Thundercats. So he's like this buff dude. Like,
How did he get buffed?
I don't know.
Cryosleep?
This is an '80s cartoon, man.
Think John Cena with the mind of a child.
Well, then he definitely wins.
So like half of Thundercats is just Lion-O learning how to be an adult, which is interesting because he's the one that gets the Sword of Omens.
Yes, well, Thundercats.
And it grows every time he says it, and he like looks in it with his eyes, and he's like thunder. And it's so epic.
If I remember correctly, he can summon the sword from nowhere. Can't
I
he?
believe so.
This is all an allegory for adolescence, right?
Sure.
I guess if you
I'm
want
not
consider
trying to
Labyrinth-
get into deep like
Yeah,
theological moments with this show. I'm just telling you what it
We're
is.
trying to do a battle here. You're making it way worse than.
I'm just like physically like fighting.
Okay.
So he's got this team of people.
I understand. So he's got a magic sword. There's time travel involved. They have cat powers.
Kind of. No, well, not really
They
cat
have, like-
powers. They're
Increased speed,
They're
strength,
cat-
claws. I'm assuming.
cat humanoids.
Tiger uses a whip.
Tigress.
Cheetah uses a whip.
Chitara.
Chitara uses a whip. Panther uses
Yes.
a mace.
Yeah, I believe it was like this mace,
With
like
the chain?
with the little chain weapon thing. that I remember him.
I can't
having.
remember what Tiger uses. I think he uses a staff.
You're well prepared.
Yes, this is great.
Yeah.
So-
Just because you don't know anything.
No, I know nothing.
I mean, one day we'll get in that fight about who wins the fight between C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien, and then the Gargoyles, which are all,
Lewis outlived Tolkien, so. Wait, no, I got that backwards. Tolkien outlived Lewis, so.
again, these are hypothetical
Who's
battles.
prepared
These are
now?
not going to happen. So then you got the Gargoyles, which all have
Increased strength. I know that.
increased strength, like they're strong enough to lift up a car or rip a car in half.
So we're talking like Captain America levels of strength here, not like Superman levels of strength.
Ooh, gargoyles?
Yeah.
Oh, they'd be stronger than Captain America.
Okay.
Captain America's strong, but he's not like uber strong.
He could pick up a car.
Yeah, but he couldn't rip one in half.
No. Okay. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
So we're talking about
His agility is more of his thing.
Okay, so here are some weapons that the Thundercats have. This is interesting. Sword of Omens, which belongs to Lino.
What's it do? It gets bigger and is lightning.
Yeah, it has lightning.
Yeah,
It's,
okay.
it's like a magic sword, basically.
Okay.
Sword of Plundar, Claw Shield, Bolo Whip, which I think is what...
Kitara or Tigra uses.
Pantor had the Bolo Whip. I just remember him wrapping people's feet. Hammer of Thundera, Excalibur, Thundercutter, Light Shield, and several more.
So they got a lot of magical items backing them up.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Wow.
And then the gargoyles are a group of creatures that got cursed by the people who they were protecting.
Right.
Which I'm gonna guess is like King Arthur, if I remember correctly.
That time at least.
So they helped out the humans. The humans kind of thought that they were going to become evil and betray them, and so they cursed them. So during the moon's out, they're awake and ready to go, but during the night, during the day, they're stoned.
Right.
So they have increased strength. They can glide.
They can't fly.
And they bring it up multiple times in the cartoon that they don't fly; they just glide. But the wings give them ability when they start gliding that they can reach up altitudes. So it's not like it's a weird flight, I guess, because they are like literally.
It's like Mario Cape Flight.
Sure, yeah,
Okay.
like
Yeah, up and down.
Yeah, so
do they have any long-range weapons?
Their fists.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go with the Thundercats.
So, okay, well, am I the only one going with the gargoyles here?
No.
Oh, you?
I'm going to go with gargoyles.
Okay.
And my reasoning for this is because gargoyles are stronger.
Okay.
They do have, as Obi-Wan might say, the high ground. They do. And then even if gargoyles really wanted to, and if they really wanted to, if the Thundercats were able to make it go all the way up until the morning, all the gargoyles have to do is literally fly up and then drop on top of them.
Because they couldn't dodge?
Huh?
You couldn't move out of the way?
It depends on how fast they're going and how close they are to them.
Well, if they're close enough,
if you're like right here and right here, you're gonna hit them.
It's not terminal velocity then.
What?
Then they'll be fine. It won't hurt as much as if they're falling.
That's not good. Drops on them.
What's not good?
I'm looking up some of the weaknesses of the Thundercats. So, Panthro, Panthro, which is the...
They're also afraid of squeeze bottles.
He has on the field of battle, however, he is cool, calm, and collected, although he has a phobia of bats.
And gargoyles.
Gargoyles resemble
giant
bats.
bats.
Oh,
So-
wait, who has the phobia?
Panthro.
Uh-oh.
Panthro is like their big muscle guy.
Yes, so that's
Right.
interesting.
Okay.
That's actually who I was like rooting for. I was like, you know what, Panthro could actually outsmart them because he's like the smartest one of the group. So
He's the smartest and the strongest?
He could formulate a plan. Yeah.
Plus, gargoyles have a gargoyle dog.
Yes. So
I think there's more Thundercats. They have magical items, and I don't think the gargoyles are that much stronger than the Thundercats. I'm gonna go with Thundercats
How can you make that assumption?
because I'm just good like that.
You're completely wrong.
So I haven't made my decision yet.
I personally feel like in this battle between Thundercats versus gargoyles, that Superman would be Goku. So.
No,
I told you not to. I told. Okay.
The views of one Lawson does not reflect the views of Geekisodes, and we have clarified that now.
Yeah.
Lawson would like to apologize for
Lawson has no
his
apologies.
So,
All right, so what did the rest of you vote? I vote Thundercats based on my wealth of knowledge here.
I'm going to. God, this is such a hard decision. I'm gonna go.
Really
I'm gonna go with.
agonizing.
I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna go with Thundercats.
There we go.
Because
he knows what's up.
I think that that Lino would come through with the Sword of Omens. I just think that he would obliterate the gargoyles with the Sword of Omens. I think
Gargoyles, baby.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Except
they
for debate.
have strength, speed, and the higher ground. Dude,
higher-
they do.
Would the high ground would matter if they had weapons from a range that would benefit from that? They have to come close anyway.
From what I remember,
Thundercats don't really have ranged weapons. It's
You can call lightning into a sword. Just strike them down in that.
You think the gargoyles haven't like dodged lightning when it's raining outside?
True.
Plus, they fight robots on a daily basis. Like gigantic, superpowered robots made by Thanatos.
All right.
Gargoyles win.
Thanatos.
I would say, okay. And again, this is me vaguely knowing either party. Okay, tell me this. How smart are the Thundercats? Because they come from an 80s cartoon. And note that in every 80s cartoon,
The gargoyles do too.
But
90s, and in every 80s cartoon, they were products that were made to sell you toys.
Yes. So Goliath and Goliath and Lion-O have a pretty similar intelligence. I think so.
I feel like I always remember Goliath.
Goliath is a wise leader.
That's what I was about to say. Like,
Not
he's a
wise, Lion-O at the beginning, no, but as his character developed more, he was a little more charismatic.
Well, yeah, he
and
does,
a
but
little
that
better.
doesn't-
Way
that
better. He's the
doesn't-
leader of the Thundercats. I mean,
that doesn't say that like he's wiser than. Why did I forget his name? We've been talking about him.
Goliath and Lion-O.
Goliath.
Yeah.
Goliath has been like, you're talking about like a guy who's been leading the gargoyles forever with all of his knowledge and his wisdom and all of the things he's done. Plus, I'm also going to throw this out there. He has Brooklyn, which was his like mentor / second in command, who's also been in a lot more wars and knows a lot more than Lionel does. And that's the thing that that the Thundercats does not have. Because Panther knows stuff, but Lionel does not.
Lionel is a train. Lion-O is the Thundercat.
Lionel is the Thundercat.
Back to the tapes.
So we're at a deadlock here, I suppose.
Well, I would say, and that's actually why I would choose the gargoyles, because of their very wise and noble leader, Goliath.
But who has more members? Now,
that's not the same.
Don't the Thundercats have at least
one more? We took out 3 members because they're like children and a pet.
Yes.
So they're even.
But those children and the pet do help out a lot in the show. They save lives. So in the background somewhere helping out.
It's so hard.
All right. So it sounds like we're at a deadlock.
We're at a tie.
What, you know who can solve this? You, the viewer, singular, the one person who's listening to this.
The one person who's listening to this.
Hey,
podcast.
Mom!
Break this
I love how
deal.
he says viewer when we're at listeners.
I mean, he has so much confidence in our show.
Yeah. No, but you can comment on your preferred method of listening to this, either YouTube, if we put it there, or SoundCloud or iTunes, wherever this is.
Yes.
Comment, and we genuinely want to know who you think would win and why, especially if you've actually watched the show, unlike 2 of us here. So
I've watched.
He's
okay.
halfway better than you.
That's true. I've vaguely watched Gargoyles, and I remember loving that.
I saw an episode maybe once of Gargoyles.
It's amazing.
All right.
It is a good show.
Well, I think we can all agree with that.
Very adult for a child's cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That and the Batman animated series. We brought that up a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways.
Well, I think that's it for us this time.
So
Yeah, I guess we'll just wrap it up.
one recommendation.
One
before we-
recommendation
That's true.
from each member.
Oh, no,
So-
we were all supposed to recommendation?
We
Yeah,
can
just one
recommend something.
recommendation,
I have
right.
Crap.
Here's-
Okay, go. Go, YouTube.
one recommendation for you all is recently we have seen a band in concert. They are known as Galactic Empire. Galactic Empire is a would you call them a parody band?
I always say an homage band.
They're a homage band. That's more appropriate. These people are dressed up like the villains of Star Wars, and they play metal renditions of the music we love from one of our favorite movie series, Star Wars.
We all look at the poster.
Yes, it is a pretty freaking epic show to go see. Just hearing the Star Wars theme song,
Nice.
the freaking I don't know, the galactic theme. Darth Vader's the Imperial March.
Right.
Plus, they end the whole concert with Duel of Fates.
Duel of Fates.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best way to end that concert.
Yeah. Metal version.
Favorite.
3 guitar players, a bass player, and a drummer.
Yeah, Partridge in the Pear Tree. Great.
Yes.
Boba
Fett. Yeah. Boba Fett, the Imperial Guard. Darth Vader on lead guitar. Kyle Ren. He's not Kylo. And the Stormtrooper.
Order of Kyle?
Yes.
Knights of Ren. One of the Knights of Ren.
Yes.
Right.
And the Stormtrooper is the bass player, which is
perfect.
It's perfect. So highly recommend you. They are on Spotify, so check them out. Listen.
Say
to
the
their
name
music.
one more time.
Galactic Empire.
All right.
So highly recommended.
All right. For me, since I think I'm the only comic book reader, I highly recommend the new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book. That is fantastic. Because the writer of it, who took a child's TV show that nobody would ever take seriously, and he's put a lot of adult themes in it.
Yeah,
that makes it so good. It's a lot better than the movie that recently came out.
Okay.
All right, I guess for me, I'm going to recommend something pretty off the wall. Well, I mean, unless you're into anime, but genuinely, even if you don't like anime, I recommend Recovery of an MMO Junkie. I've been watching that. It's dubbed on Verve or Funimation, which is relatively cheap. Really good, short, 10 episodes. About a woman who life just becomes too stressful for her, and she quits her job and just becomes like a gaming addict, which is actually not portrayed as necessarily healthy. And it's kind of watching her come out of that slowly. The series does very much end on a unfinished note. There's clearly more to come. But it ends with her. It starts with her kind of coming out of her shell and trying to reintegrate into society a little bit, and it was really poignant. I felt like, which I know is, I guess, maybe a little silly coming from something from anime, but it really spoke to me, and I thought was very emotionally resonant. And I suggest it to anyone. I know there's some controversy about the director who has said some anti-Semitic comments, but I would just like to point out that the original writer was not the person that did that. None of the directorial touches actually add anything that I would consider racist into it, and there are a lot of good people worked on the production. The dub is great, surprisingly, so I really do suggest you give that a shot. Check it out, even if you're mildly interested in just kind of a light-hearted but emotionally resonant drama. I really suggest it.
Excellent. Bam. All right, I like it. Okay, there's 1,000 movies and more I could recommend. Okay. But I'm gonna recommend this one because I'm just gonna give you a fun, lighthearted thing to check out. It's may or may not have seen it. I know Lawson hasn't seen it. Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. So
I have seen this.
Yes, it's back on Netflix. It has a show on Netflix, or a very small season of a miniseries, I would say, and literally it is a comedy with all the early 2000s comedic greats.
Yes.
Or not even that, just really funny actors. I mean, it's got Amy Poehler, it's got Paul Rudd, it's got
Bradley Cooper.
Yes,
Bradley Cooper's
it's so fantastic. Here's what it is. It is the premise of, yes, camp counselors and shenanigans, but oh my gosh, it's so much more beyond that. The layers to it. It's like, okay, it basically incorporates every type of humor you've seen in a movie. If you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like stupid humor, clever humor, dry humor, satirical, just
oh yes,
everything. It's mainly satirical, absurdist humor.
A lot of satire.
A lot of satire, but for the most part, yeah, it really, and even the writers will go on record and say that, yeah, they wanted to incorporate every kind of humor they've seen in a movie, and it actually works as a cohesive story and movie by doing that, because it's really hard to juggle all those tones. But,
I would imagine.
Right, but they managed to do it perfectly, and it's a great,
and Paul
funny
Rudd's in it too.
movie. Paul Rudd is
my favorite character.
He is my favorite character in the movie. He's the archetypal douchebag.
Yes.
He's the douchebag boyfriend that the loser, wants to date that, his girlfriend, right? Mm-hmm. But of course she's with the douchebag boyfriend. It's that whole archetypal dynamic. But of course it's a satire of it all. But oh my gosh, Paul Rudd, you know.
How did we not mention him first?
I don't know.
Like he's the best
Ant-Man.
part.
I mean, come on. But he really is, because you know what I'm talking about. The one scene where he's dropping everything.
Don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it, but
I think
you know what I'm talking about, right? Where
so, yeah.
he's got this one scene in the movie that had me on the floor. But yeah, check it out. It's on Netflix. Wet Hot American Summer. It's like nothing you've ever seen.
So,
I recommend it too.
Galactic
Empire.
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers comic book.
Recovery of an MMO junkie.
And Wet Hot American Summer.
All
right. Well, this has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us and enduring all of our geekisms. And we will see you next week.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Signing out.
You gotta snap out of it, Lion-O! Call the Thundercats before...
Shut up, you...
There are several sacred things in this world that you don't ever mess with. One of them happens to be another man's fries.
I should have known the Territor didn't mean us any harm when the Sword of Omens didn't obey me. And anyway, it was just plain stupid to assume it might be bad. Just what the f*** am I talking about?
The fate of the planet is in the hands of a bunch of retards I wouldn't trust with a potato gun.
Let's find the mega condenser. I'm saying that too fast. Let's find the mega condenser. Still going too fast.
What's wrong, Lion-O?
Here it is again.
What's here again?
That thing, that mega thing.
Want me to say it?
Yes!
Their ways are not our ways.
What Empire City needs is more cops. And a Hooters. What the hell are you on?
You believe it? Oh, this is the moment.
No, take it easy.
The moment I've been
Don't think too
dreaming
much.
of.
Don't be no fool.
Now there is nothing to stop me from getting my sweet revenge. Gargoyle, prepare to get creamed.
What's that bubble there? Well, how the hell did you get the bees above the frying? I mean,